Hey everyone, it's Ian, and welcome back to Is This Legit? A series where we debunk viral YouTube videos, plus teach you some media literacy skills along the way. Today, we're going to be breaking down a claim made by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Back when the House was debating about increasing the coronavirus stimulus checks to $2,000, Sanders said this.
And let me just make it clear for the majority leader that 10 out of the poorest 25 counties in the United States of America are located in Kentucky.
So in this clip, Sanders is pretty critical of Mitch McConnell, who at the time was the Senate Majority Leader, and essentially says that McConnell's state of Kentucky could definitely benefit from an increased stimulus check, since 10 out of the 25 poorest counties are located in his state. These types of claims are basically made for social media, mainly because it's a pretty attention-grabbing stat that also gets an emotional reaction out of people. But is this actually true? Time to find out, is this legit? So we're going to fact check this statement in 3 easy steps, using these questions developed by the Stanford History Education Group. Start off by asking, who's behind this information? So this is obviously a clip of Senator Bernie Sanders, and this footage was taken from C-SPAN, but the video was actually shared by a YouTube channel called The Progressive Voice. Checking out their About section, this channel is dedicated to political commentary, and in their description, they list themselves as progressively liberal. This is worth noting because when it comes to fact checking, or even just reading the news in general, you always want to be aware of any potential bias. Okay, on to the next question. Ask yourself, what's the evidence? When it comes to any claim, you're always going to want proof, right? Well, Sanders never actually cites where he got his information from, and the YouTube description doesn't include a link either. This is kind of a red flag, mainly because now I don't know if this information is old or possibly being taken out of context. Which brings us to step number 3. What are other sources saying? For this step, I'm just going to simply Google Bernie Sanders says 10 out of the poorest 25 counties are in Kentucky. The first link that pops up is this article from the Courier General, which is a Kentucky newspaper. They looked into the same claim. And according to the article, Sanders actually, quote, misused the statistic. Basically, there was a list compiled by 24/7 Wall Street, which was also published by USA Today back in 2019. It took 3 factors into account to determine the worst counties to live in, which don't necessarily mean the poorest. While one of the 3 factors was poverty, they also factored in the percentage of adults who have at least a bachelor's degree and average life expectancy at birth. But on that same list of the, quote, 25 worst counties to live in, 10 counties are located in Kentucky. But again, while poverty was a factor in this list, it was not the only factor. So while 10 Kentucky counties made the worst list, that doesn't necessarily mean they make up the poorest. But let's see what some other sources are saying. The Courier mentions USA Today, so let's track down that article to see if it gives us any added context. And according to the article, for those 3 factors used to determine the worst counties, data on life expectancy is from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, and the rest of the data were collected from the U.S. Census Bureau's 2017 American Community Survey and our 5-year estimates. USA Today also wrote that many, not all of these counties, also rank among the poorest. However, while it's pretty unlikely, we also have to consider that maybe Sanders wasn't even trying to reference this list of the 25 worst counties. So let's actually look into the poorest counties and see how many are in Kentucky. For something like this, primary sources are the way to go. I went to the U.S. Census Bureau and downloaded the most recent data for all states and counties. I reordered the data by median household income, starting with the lowest, which was Clay County, Georgia. And of the 25 poorest counties, Kentucky actually makes up 5, not 10. So just to recap, no, 10 out of the 25 poorest counties are not actually located in Kentucky. It looks like Senator Bernie Sanders instead referenced a list of the 25 worst counties to live in, since 10 Kentucky counties wound up making that list. However, since poverty was a determining factor, we'll have to rate this claim as needs context. So when it comes to claims like this one, keep in mind that it is really easy to misinterpret data. It happens all the time. It's also possible that a statistic you come across might just be outdated, which is why it's worth the time it takes to fact check something you're not sure about, especially before you reshare it. If you're interested in more fact checks or want to learn more ways you can debunk a potential misinformation on your own timeline, be sure to like and subscribe. Bye guys.
Don't compromise, be MediaWise.